Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really smart strategy that growing companies are using. We're talking about how to get top-tier marketing leadership, see real growth, and, this is the best part, actually save money while doing it.
So if you're a founder or part of a lean team, you know this problem all too well, right? You absolutely need that high-level strategic mind to help you scale, but man, the cost of a full-time executive feels like a huge, risky bet. Well, there's a smarter way to play the game.
Okay, let's really get into the weeds here, starting with the problem itself. For a business that's on the rise, hiring a full-time chief marketing officer isn't just a big decision, it's a high-stakes one. Let's look at why.
The very first thing that hits you is the sticker shock. We're talking a senior executive salary that can easily soar past 60, even 80 lakhs a year. That is a massive fixed cost on your books. But honestly, that number, it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Right, because the true cost just keeps stacking up. You've got to think about equity, which dilutes ownership. Then there are benefits, which can tack on another 15 to 25%. Performance bonuses, retention plans, it goes on. And then you have the single biggest hidden cost to them all. What if you make the wrong hire? That can set your company back for months, even years.
And you know, it's not just about the money. It's about time. Just look at this timeline. You are paying a full executive salary through weeks of interviews, a month or two of notice period, and then another 3 to 6 months of just planning. All of that happens before you can even start to see a real return on your investment. The clock is ticking, and the cash is burning.
So, if you're facing that massive cost and time sink, what's the alternative? How do you get that critical strategic brain without the crippling overhead? Well, this is where the fractional model completely changes the conversation.
So let's be super clear about what a fractional CMO is. This isn't just a consultant who gives you a report and disappears. No, this is an experienced, hands-on leader who literally becomes part of your team, but for a fraction of the time, say a couple of days a week. You get the strategy, the decision-making, the leadership, but only when you actually need it most.
And this right here is the magic number. It's the core reason this model is so powerful. You're getting the most critical 80% of a senior leader's value, the strategy, the planning, the accountability, for about a third of the cost. It's not about being cheap. It's about being incredibly efficient and surgical with your investment.
You know, the biggest difference really boils down to one word: focus. A full-time executive, by nature, gets pulled into company-wide meetings, internal politics, the whole shebang. But a fractional leader, they are hired to be laser-focused on one thing, and one thing only: delivering specific, measurable marketing results. They're there for performance, not just for presence.
But wait, it gets even better. The value here goes way beyond just the obvious salary savings. A good fractional CMO will actively start saving you money in other parts of the business where you might be leaking cash without even realizing it. Think about it. With an expert at the helm, you stop wasting money on agencies that aren't delivering. You avoid hiring the wrong junior person because you now have a clear strategy. Your ad budgets and tool subscriptions get audited and optimized. And maybe the most valuable piece of all, the founder's time is freed up to focus on building the product and the vision. That's priceless.
I love this quote because it completely reframes your mindset. You stop thinking about this role as an expense on a spreadsheet. Instead, you see it as an investment that multiplies the impact of every other marketing rupee you spend. It's an engine for growth.
And here's the proof. In a real-world example, look at this. A B2B SaaS startup saved over 50 lakhs in a year on leadership costs alone. But that's only half the story. At the same time, they increased their qualified leads by 42%. They spent less and they got so much more. That's the power of this model. All right, let's put these two models side by side for a direct head-to-head comparison. When you lay out the data like this, the choice for a lean, hungry company becomes crystal clear.
I mean, just look at the contrast across the board. The cost is dramatically lower. The onboarding time is weeks, not months. The commitment is flexible, so if things aren't working, you can pivot easily, which massively lowers your risk. And for a startup, this last one is key. You start seeing a return on your investment way, way faster.
So, what this all points to is a totally new way to think about growth. Smart growth isn't about just adding more names to the company directory.
It's about maximizing the return on every single rupee you invest into your strategy and your team.
So how do they actually drive that ROI? Well, it comes down to these 4 things. 1. They optimize your strategy to lower your customer acquisition costs. 2. They make sure marketing is directly connected to revenue. 3. They find the fat in your budget and reallocate it to things that actually work. And 4. They build scalable systems that keep delivering value even after they're gone.
And remember, it's not just about cost savings. This model creates a massive speed advantage. This fintech company didn't just save almost 20 lakhs, they got their product to market 2.5 months faster than they'd planned. In today's competitive world, that kind of speed is a weapon.
And that's really the final question to leave you with. As you plan your company's future, what are you really looking for? Are you just looking to hire a person to fill a seat on the org chart? Or are you looking to invest in a flexible, powerful performance system that's built from day one to deliver results? For more and more companies, the answer is becoming pretty obvious.